Well, we are the app generation of pilots, aren't we?
Of course.
And what would we do without the apps and tools that we have at our fingertips these days? I'm with Thomas Darty, who's from Foreflight, and we're looking at Foreflight here. And I wonder if we could start by having a look at it, because
Yeah.
I wonder how many people have actually explored it themselves
Yeah.
and understand a bit about how it works. Would that be all right? Could
Of
you show me
course.
around it?
Yeah. So at Foreflight, we consider this an integrated flight bag. And what we mean by that is taking all of your electronic flight bags, your charts, your plates, the things that you would normally need to go fly, and integrating that through your entire flight experience. So your pre-flight, your in-flight, and your post-flight should all be included into the single app here at Foreflight. So we have our tab bar here along the bottom. So I've got my airports tab where I can look up my airport information, weather, fuel prices, anything that I need there. Our interactive map where I can load in different pieces of information, see different airports, look at weather, things like that. All the way into like our ability to have a checklist built into the app, record track logs as you're flying along, and even bring some of that information over into like a logbook for it, so I can record all of my information. So it's really our pre-flight, in-flight, and post-flight all the way through, plus our integration into the cockpit through our avionics connectivity program, so that you can do things like flight plan transfer or get ADS-B information or other information from your aircraft directly into the app while you're flying along.
Could you demonstrate plugging in a route for us?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that I can do some planning in here. As we go through and look at our airport here on our aeronautical layer onto the map, I'm going to go through and put in our current airport here at EGBK. I can use touch planning to go through and simply tap on another route element, look up information about it, see if that's the correct airport for me to fly to today. If it is, I can add that to my route as I go through. If I wanted to do more of that kind of VFR touch planning information there, I can always go through and like rubber band our route around, find my way around airspace, do whatever I needed to. But if I wanted to have that routing done automatically for me, it's as simple as touching the routes button along the flight plan drawer there, and Foreflight will go off and grab a Eurocontrol validated route between those two airports for me based on my aircraft. I can set constraints on it, it's easy to use, and all of that stuff is going to be loaded in there for you.
In terms of how airspace is depicted, because people might have been using other systems, it looks a bit different, colors might be a bit different.
Colors can be a little bit different in there.
I presume it's all customizable as well, and you can show as little or as much as you want.
You can show different amounts in there. We have on our aeronautical map along the sidebar over here the ability to turn on or off different elements of the map. So I can go through and bring in like my airspace or my waypoints, whatever I need on today's flight. One of the things that we're seeing here is our airspace auto highlighting, where because I have a route in through particular airspace, we're going to make that airspace the normal bold so that you can see exactly what you're flying through. And then we're going to dim out all of the additional airspace that you're not flying through. So it's decluttering the map automatically for you. If I wanted to see this airspace from a profile view over here, I would go to my profile view and I could go through and see all of the airspace along my route. I can tap on it, find out specific information about it as I need to. If I wanted to find information about like frequencies on an airspace, I simply press and hold on the map. I can see all of the airspaces that are at that specific location and more information about them like contact frequencies, elevations, things like that. Makes it very easy for me to get a complete understanding of the airspace that I'm flying through today and declutter the airspace I don't care about.
What would you say to people that have used other systems and have got used to those and then look at this and think, wow, this is powerful, looks a bit complicated, it's going to take me some time to learn. What's the route to getting used to using it as you are today?
Yeah, so we actually have a lot of stuff built into the app directly. If we go over to the Documents tab in here, under Foreflight, we actually have the pilot's guide, the POH of the app built directly into the pilot or into the Documents tab. So if you ever need to look anything up, it's easy to find it there, but it's kind of a big document, and if you don't want to go through and read all of that, if you open up our More drawer and go to our Support tab, we have links to both what our newest videos are and different videos from our YouTube playlist. They're all for free. We have different playlists like Getting Started or What's New, and we actually have an entire playlist built off of flying in Europe. So you can go through and see specific European features inside of Foreflight to bring you up to speed on how to use it if you're transitioning from other apps.
From people that have maybe looked at the app in the past, and it's probably changed since then and been updated, what are the newest features that you've included to it?
So some of the new ones that are good to go through and play with in here, if we bring up our layer selector, you can see all of the different weather and map charts that I have in here. So we've brought in a bunch of new third-party chart providers, including NATS here in the UK, so that I can see my AIP information, my en route charts. One that I like to play around with is our new NOTAMs layer in here. This is our global graphical NOTAMs feature that will automatically highlight airspace that is activated by NOTAMs. So if I have that temporary airspace that's sometimes on, sometimes off, this is going to go ahead and keep me apprised of all of those activation times so that I'm not flying through hot airspace when I don't need to in there.
What would you say then, and what is it about Foreflight that you feel gives it the edge for flying in the UK and Europe? What is it? What does Foreflight offer that other services don't?
I think there's two things that Foreflight does particularly well. We spend a lot of time flying with the app to refine the UX so that we as pilots know exactly how to go through and do this. So we spend time making sure that workflows are smooth, that you can find the information that you need when you need it. Things like our new airspace alerting is a great example of that. As you approach new airspace or fly into that airspace, it will tell you what airspaces you're approaching and give you frequency information in there. I think that just makes it so much easier for me to go through and fly through things. The second piece that's great about flying with Foreflight is our pilot support team. We call them our fanatical pilot support team. They're on frequency 24/7, team at Foreflight. You can reach out to them. They're all pilots, they're all Foreflight experts, and they're a really great resource for you to say, not only, hey, I have an account problem with Foreflight, but more, I was flying an approach the other day, and I wonder if I could do this better in the app. They've been there in the airplane, and they can answer those questions for you.
Thomas Darty, thank you very much from Foreflight. Thanks to you for watching this video. I'll leave you now, and Thomas is going to give me a little bit more of a lesson, and I'm going to have a little play with Foreflight.